As a kid, there were 4 Pokemon I absolutely hated facing: Slowpoke, Cloyster, Executor, and Drowzee. The reason was that my overleveled starter couldn't just one-shot them all with a special attack, so I'm really excited to get to use this creepy Tapir today. I think it's probably going to be one of the best first stage Pokemon in the game, and I think it'll earn a very respectable spot in my tier list at the end of the video. Just one quick note before I start: this animation? So scary. Those fingers are nightmare fuel. Now, I'll mention 2 other creators who have also done Drowzee runs: Andrew Davis and Vanman. These guys are great, they've done a lot of Generation 1 Pokemon runs, and I really enjoy watching their content myself. They did their runs in Pokemon Red, so things are quite a bit different than my run, which is going to be in Yellow, but I think it's fun to see how different people approach the same Pokemon anyways. Go check them out if you're looking for more content like this. Now, look at Drowzee's opening moveset. It's basically go to sleep and then go to Pound Town. And lucky for me, PP isn't going to be a problem, because it can pound for days. Its move pool isn't very diverse though, it mostly learns Psychic and Normal type moves, but of these it gets so many great options: Meditate, Body Slam, Psychic, Mimic, Dream Eater, Rest, Thunder Wave, Tri-Attack, and Substitute. Drowzee's stats luckily back up these moves. It has excellent special. Unfortunately, all the other stats aren't very good. And this is going to immediately matter, because Brock. Hypnosis won't work because Brock has 5 full heals for each of his Pokemon. That's a total of 10 full heals. In Generation 1, the game stores the number of items that each trainer has as a single integer, and it applies to each Pokemon on their team. At 60% accuracy, I'll probably run out of Hypnosis PP before I finally get his Pokemon to fall asleep, so I don't think that's a good strategy to go for. Today, I'll train to level 17 to get Confusion in an effort to save time. To speed up the process of leveling, I decide to face the rival at the optional location, so this means that he's going to choose Jolteon as his final evolution of Eevee. It takes a good while to train up in the forest. Drowzee doesn't level up very quickly, but finally I get Confusion, and with it, Brock is, not very hard. Confusion one-hits both of his Pokemon. Now I'm overleveled and Drowzee's progress is really going to speed up. Poison-type Pokemon are most common in Kanto, and because I've got a Psychic move that gets the same type attack bonus, I can sweep through all of the mandatory trainers in my way and make up for the lost time training in Viridian Forest. In Mount Moon, I fight an additional trainer, and then I pick up the TM for Mega Punch. It's going to be a better option than Pound when I have to face other Psychic types. Now Drowzee's true potential starts to become clear against the final rival on Nugget Bridge. Honestly, this fight is usually kind of annoying. Spearow can growl and lower physical attackers' offense, Sandshrew can mess you up with Sand Attack, Rattata is quite strong if it gets an attack off, and if your accuracy wasn't ruined enough, the Eevee can continue Sand Attacks. But today, this fight is so simple. Spam Confusion and that's it. For Misty, I teach Drowzee Mega Punch. Star use first. I use Confusion against it since it's a mono water type. It takes 2 hits and then faints. Star Me's next. It's a Psychic type and Bubble Beam is very strong. Because of this, I set up Hypnosis. With that out of the way, I spam Mega Punch and slowly knock the Starfish out. On the SS-Hand, I grab Rest because this is basically a rule for my playthroughs. After that, I grab Body Slam, and this is going to be a nice upgrade for Mega Punch. I defeat the Gentleman and grab the Rare Candy, and then I sweep the rival in the next fight. It's just as easy as the last one. I'm honestly curious who is going to be Drowzee's first reset. I write these scripts as I go, just like my dry bread, so while I'm writing this section, I honestly have no idea. Right now I'll predict that Blaine's going to cause my first reset. He's got some powerful physical moves on fast Pokemon after all, and I have nothing super effective there. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, Surge is next. Raichu uses Growl and fails on the first turn, Hypnosis puts the mouse to sleep, and then I start to Body Slam. It looks like it's going to be a 3-hit range. And it is. No resets for Drowzee so far. In Rock Tunnel, the Slowpoke slow me down a bit. That's normal. Just like it was when I was a kid. I don't save before the self-destructing Hiker, I just want to save time here. Plus I've got Confusion and he's going to be simple. I one-shot the first 2 Geodude with ease, Graveler comes out, Confusion takes it to red health, and then it self-destructs? Oh no. Okay, so I should have given the most powerful Hiker in the game a little bit more respect. It's also just a bit frustrating that it knocked me out because of a critical hit. It's a rock, it's really slow, so it just doesn't get critical hits very often. Anyways, my last save was at Surge, so I have to go all the way back there and complete this battle again. But Drowzee's consistent here and takes the victory in one attempt. I save before the Hiker this time, Graveler still survives, but it misses Rock Throw this time and it doesn't blow up. I'm moving on to the mid-game now. I sell a bunch of items and buy 3 Carbos to boost Drowzee's speed. He's kinda slow, so gotta get fast. After that, I'm off to Pokemon Tower, and in here I'm gonna train against all the Ghastly. Experience yields aren't incredible here, but I do have a type advantage, and knocking out the Ghastly gives a great amount of stat experience in both special and speed, which I really want. During this training, Drowzee learns Psychic. I replace Poison Gas, giving me a large offensive PP reserve. This will be useful for the training that I do in the next gym, which is filled with women after all. Knock these Pokemon out, and that gives a lot of special stat experience, and with the grinding out of the way, I face Erika. I wasn't sure initially if I should put the Tangela to sleep or not. I end up going for Psychic, and it's a 2-hit range, so it's good that I didn't. I finish it off, and Weepinbell comes out. Gets hit with Psychic, and faints in a single hit. Gloom is the same story. Now, Drowzee levels up to 37 and starts to learn Meditate. This could be a game-changing move. It allows me to boost my attack stat by up to 4 times its value, and also triggers the badge boost glitch along the way, raising my speed if I have Koga's badge and my special if I have the Volcano badge. Right now it's just going to boost my attack in the regular way and my defense with the badge boost glitch. I replace Confusion, and now I have Meditate just in case. It's worth noting here that Drowzee has 3 excellent strategies available to it. 1. It can overlevel and spam Psychic or Body Slam. 2. It can use Hypnosis and Dream Eater together. The TM is available now that I can fly back to Viridian and cut the tree. 3. I can use Meditate and Body Slam in combination. Unfortunately though, I only have 4 move slots, and to use all 3 of these strategies, I would have to have 5 moves. I think that in the mid game, number 1 and number 3 are going to be the best together, so Psychic and the Meditate Body Slam combo. This is just going to be much more consistent, and I think it's going to take less time. However, in the late game, I think that the ability to heal with Dream Eater, the extra PP that it gives you over Psychic, and the power of Generation 1 Sleep is really going to help Drowzee become consistent at a decently low level. There is one thing to note here though, and that's that I learned Psychic by leveling up, and this means that I can save the TM for Psychic, and I can actually replace Dream Eater later on if I realize that I'd rather have the first strategy rather than the Dream Eater strategy. So that's really nice, and it gives Drowzee a lot of flexibility. Koga's next. I'm underleveled, and I just go for Psychic to see how much damage it's going to do against the Venonats. The first, second, and third one are all 1-hits leading to the Venomoth. Of course, this is a Psychic Grass type, so it's not going to take much damage, but Koga has good AI, and that forces him to use Leech Life. Drowzee isn't taking much damage from it, so I finish the Moth off in 2 hits. Now it's time for Blaine, and I predicted that he was going to be the first challenge of the run. Sorry Mr. Hiker, I did miss you. I use Hypnosis against Ninetales and then set up 6 Meditates. This is for 2 reasons. Blaine's Pokemon have good special stats, so I don't want to have to use Psychic. Additionally, now that I have Koga's badge, I get a speed boost from the badge boost glitch every time I use Meditate. After 6 Meditates, my speed is actually 80% higher, allowing me to outspeed these fast fire types. Ninetales wakes up, but I predict it and put it back to sleep right away. Body Slam doesn't quite KO it, but Ninetales is still snoozing, and then I take it out on the next turn. Rapidash is next. Drowzee moves first, does a pathetic amount of damage because of a critical hit. Rapidash uses Takedown. Oh no, please. And Drowzee survives with a sliver of health. My next Body Slam finishes it off, and now it's Arcanine time. I need to outspeed, and I need to get good luck with Hypnosis here. I move first, and Hypnosis works. Okay, good. Body Slam finishes Blaine off, and that was a really close fight, but no resets so far. I pick up the TM for Dream Eater next. I'm not going to use it right away, I'm saving it for the League. And then I need to deal with Sabrina before I can take on Giovanni. I wish that Drowzee could learn Swift for this fight. Today, I just need to bank on Hypnosis to avoid Abra's flashes. Sabrina uses X-Defend, Hypnosis misses, Abra fails Flash, Hypnosis misses again, Abra fails Flash again, and then Hypnosis finally works. Okay, that was really tense. I set up 6 Meditates, and then I put the Abra back to sleep. I probably should have just knocked it out with a single hit, and then I level up, and it resets my badge boost, and that allows Sabrina's team to outspeed me. Kadabra gets an X-Defend though, and it faints to 1 hit. I'm just glad that it didn't use Kinesis. Sabrina's ace, Alakazam, is last. It misses a Psywave, and that might have been more effective than the Psywave actually hitting me, and then Body Slam finishes the fight. Giovanni's next. I train in his gym first, and then I make the trip to Celadon to buy some final vitamins. There's one issue that I can't get around in this fight, and that's going to be the fact that Dugtrio outspeeds me, and that means it can just one-hit me with Fissure. In Generation 1, one-hit KO moves can only actually knock out Pokemon that the user is faster than, so in this case, they will work against me. Instead though, it just uses Sand Attack on turn 1, and I honestly think that that might be worse. I use Psychic, and I knock it out in a single hit. At Persian, I decide that I really want to set up. It takes me into orange health with 2 turns of Fury Swipes, and then finally I put it to sleep and I get some peace to meditate in. With 4 boosts, I start my sweep. I one-hit Persian, Nidoqueen, and Nidoking. And that causes Drowzee to level up and reset my badge boosts. Excellent. But Rhydon's slow and has a low special stat, so I still think that this is possible. I use Psychic, miss, Guard Spec, and then I miss again, Rock Slide misses, Psychic connects for more than half, Rhydon misses Fury Attack, Psychic misses, and then finally Earthquake finishes Drowzee off. Ugh, that was so frustrating. The next fight, I correct my mistakes. Again, I set up on Persian. With it out of the way, I sweep the Nidos with ease, and Rhydon's now an easy 2-hit. The rival ambushes me. This fight proves that Dream Eater should probably be the go-to move if Meditate's being used, because Hypnosis is less than accurate, like, it's pretty bad. The ability to recover health and deal damage is really key, so it's this kind of combo. You put them to sleep, you set up, and then you can recover and knock out at the same time, and that allows you to get into the sweep with really good health. Without it, I actually end up losing once. Adding it to my moveset, the second fight's now much easier. Jolteon does have Pin Missile though, and this is a super effective bug move. It gets a critical hit, but Drowzee survives and knocks the doggo out with a single body slam. I'm off to the league. And here are Drowzee's stats and moveset. I use most of the rare candies that I've saved up to this point, but I keep some just in case. I'm doing this so I can level up between fights, preventing Drowzee from leveling up mid-fight and resetting the badge boost. Anyways, I think that Drowzee's arrived here with a fantastic time. This little creep is just very strong in Generation 1. Honestly, I'd be surprised if it struggled with the league. What do you think? Okay, let's do this. Lorelei is perhaps the most consistent trainer to set up against in the entire game. Dugong has an 80% chance to fall asleep on the second turn if it's lost any health. I damage it with Body Slam, it starts to snooze, and then I set up 3 Meditates. Hypnosis misses once, but then Dugong falls asleep again. It's probably really happy about this. I finish my setup, and then here I make a mistake. I try to use Dream Eater when Dugong's awake. Whoops. And then Dugong takes me all the way into the red with Takedown. I am so lucky that Hypnosis worked right here because I was one shot away from losing. Dream Eater one-hits the Dugong, and that heals Drowzee. Cloyster falls asleep and is one hit as well. I figured that Body Slam would be enough for Slowbro, but I get a critical hit. It doesn't do very much at all because of that. I tank the Surf well though, and then I finish it off. Jinx survives with a Sliver, but that triggers a Super Potion and I knock it out anyways. Lapras is all that's left. Come on Drowzee, you can do it. Body Slam takes it into orange, and then I survive its Body Slam and knock it out. Now, remember when I was disrespectful to the first hiker? Yeah, I shouldn't have been, because he's the strongest hiker in the game. The hiker, though, between Lorelei and Agatha is clearly not as good. I set up and sweep him with ease. Agatha worries me. I love using Mimic to steal Substitute here. With it, I can avoid Confuse Ray consistently and set up without damaging myself. However, with the current strategy, there isn't any space for Mimic, so I'm betting on Hypnosis getting the job done here. I put the first Gengar to sleep, and then I set up 6 Meditates. This is actually for the intended attack boosts. Body Slam really needs to one-hit the Golbat and the Arbok, so I don't need to spend time putting them to sleep as well. I was lucky in this fight though that Hypnosis worked every single time that I used it against a Ghost, and this ends up being a clean sweep for Drowzee. Now it's time for Lance, and this fight plays out essentially the same as the Agatha fight did for Drowzee. Set up Meditates so that the 2 Dragonairs will be one-hits with Body Slam. That minimizes the number of times that I need to use the inconsistent Hypnosis. Drowzee outspeeds Aerodactyl because of the badge boosts, and that makes it easy to knock out with Dream Eater. All that's left is Dragonite. I use Hypnosis, it misses, Dragonite uses Fire Blast, but Drowzee tanks it like a boss. That's thanks to its base 90 special. Drowzee actually only has 10 less special than Dragonite does. After that, I put the dragon to sleep, and then I eat its dreams. Now, it's time for the ultimate challenge. Can Drowzee make it through the entire league in a clean sweep with no resets? I really think that it can. While I was setting up, I was so worried that Sandslash would crit with Slash or Earthquake, but it doesn't, and I finish it off with Dream Eater. Body Slam one-hits the Alakazam, but Exeggutor survives. The champion has good AI though, so there's no chance for him to use Hypnosis, and that basically takes away Exeggutor's most annoying tactics. I miss my own Hypnosis unfortunately on Cloyster, and then it misses Clamp. After that, it falls asleep and I finish it off. Ninetales is a one-hit from Body Slam, and Jolteon is last. I'm so close. It outspeeds using Pin Missile, a super effective move, but Drowzee shrugs it off despite not having any badge boosts anymore. Body Slam connects, and the game's finished. Drowzee gets a time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 3 seconds, finishing at level 64 with 3 resets and a game time of 5 hours and 5 minutes. Okay, so this is an outstanding performance for our first stage Pokemon. I do want to go back though and test the endgame fights and see if relying on Hypnosis was making things less consistent. I could have just got really lucky with this run. Against Lorelei, Drowzee is quite consistent. I win 8 out of 10 reattempts. During this, I realized that just using Hypnosis against Dugong is actually better than trying to make it rest. That's because Hypnosis can last for a full duration, whereas rest is only 2 turns of sleep. The issues in this fight that make it slightly inconsistent are that Cloyster can confuse me with Supersonic or trap me in Clamp, and then Lapras can freeze me with Blizzard. However, I'm pretty happy with this win-loss ratio, so I'm going to move on. Agatha deserves a test, I think, and here's what I discover. Her ghosts actually aren't to worry about because Drowzee resists their Hypnosis Dream Eater combo, and because of Gen 1 jank, their only ghost move, which is Lick, doesn't do anything to me. And that means that the scariest Pokemon on her team is Golbat. I can't believe that I'm saying that. Anyways, it can use Supersonic or Toxic, and the latter of those is much worse. This is because it punishes me for missing Hypnosis. So set up on the first Gengar and sweep. But if Agatha switches before I have 5 Meditates to one-shot the Golbat, things get really rough. I actually only won 8 out of 10 fights here, and those 2 losses were really just because of the Golbat. I think I would have won 1 more fight if I had realized to just use Hypnosis into Dream Eater right away against Golbat. There's no way that I should be setting up against it, that's way too risky. Anyways, I'm happy with this result. One thing that could make it more consistent would be teaching Psychic right now, but I want to keep Dream Eater just in case I need it for the next 2 fights. Lance, unfortunately, is the first significant issue for consistency. I played 13 fights against him, and I only won 6 of them. Honestly, if I was trying to speedrun Drowzee again, I think that just chancing this fight and trying to get through it on the first attempt is the best approach. If you have 1 reset, I think that that's okay. I do think though that there's a more consistent approach today by just switching a move. One of the reasons that I'm losing is that I'm relying on Hypnosis to knock out the Aerodactyl and the Dragonite. Gyarados occasionally gets me with a crit from Hyper Beam, but that's really not common, so I don't need to worry about that. Replacing Dream Eater with Psychic can solve the problem that is posed by Aerodactyl and Dragonite. But this leaves 2 additional problems. Gyarados occasionally will deal enough damage to me while I set up so that Aerodactyl or Dragonite can finish me off. And then the second problem is that critical hits exist. Lance's team are all quite fast, and so they can crit me very frequently. But I can also crit them, which negates my stat boosts, and that allows them to survive when they really shouldn't. Overall though, I won 8 out of 10 times using Psychic, so this feels so much better. Here, I'm just going to add a quick note now that I thought of while I was recording this script, which is that I could actually replace Body Slam with Psychic and keep Dream Eater as well so that I can heal going into the Aerodactyl and Dragonite fight. That means I can just use Psychic against the Dragonairs instead. I thought that this would be bad because then in the champion I wouldn't have a physical move, but instead I could actually keep Tri-Attack from earlier in the playthrough and then teach Tri-Attack over Psychic for the champion. So I think that that would be the best set going forward. Anyways, I don't have any footage of that because I'm just punching in and doing this later, so yeah, I think that that's the best approach though. So now let's see without Dream Eater if Drowzee's chances against the champion are hurt. And honestly, the answer is yes, but not by very much. I won 8 out of 10 fights, and the losses here are because I can't heal later in the fight. I prefer Dream Eater here from an emotional point of view, but I do think that Psychic is just a little bit better. So now we've reached the actual final boss, and this is going to be a regular section in my videos from now on. Can Drowzee defeat Mewtwo at the level that it beat the League at? I teach it Mimic in the place of Psychic. Psychic's really not going to be useful. Then I put Mewtwo to sleep and use Mimic to steal Barrier. This is to reduce damage from Swift in case it hits me. I set it up 3 times using Hypnosis along the way so that Mewtwo stays asleep. We really don't want it attacking and getting a critical hit or something like that. After that, it's time to meditate. Drowzee gets really calm, empties its mind, and focuses on the mantra, I am the best Psychic type in Generation 1. Once it's ready, I start using Body Slam. That's not doing very much damage, but Drowzee's really persistent, and it knocks Mewtwo out on its first attempt at this fight. As a reward for all the hard work, I let this Drowzee evolve into a Hypno. Now, let's place it in my tier list. Drowzee's real time is actually faster than Slowpoke, Clefairy, Dragonair, and Ghastly, but slightly slower than Raticate. It earns itself a spot in the C tier, which is honestly an impressive performance for a first stage Pokemon. I think that Hypno is going to be one of the fastest through the game, and I'm really excited to use it in the future. Note that I've grayed out some Pokemon in this tier list just to show that there are older playthroughs, and I want to re-rank them at some point by doing new playthroughs for them. Eventually I'll do that, so don't worry, I will get to it. Like, subscribe, ring the chime echo, and leave a comment. To all my patrons, thanks so much for your continued support. If you're curious about supporting this content as well, check out the link below for bonus content and an exclusive Discord server. If you've made it this far, you're incredible. Now, it's bloopers time. Today, I'll just train until level 27, not 27, 17. If you had to train to level 27 to beat Brock, oh my gosh. I wonder if there's any Pokemon, maybe like Execute or something? I don't want to do that run. In Mount Moon, I take a few detours. I fight some auditional trainers. The Oddish trainer is an auditional trainer. Should I put that in? I don't know if I should put that in. People are going to be like, you said it wrong. I'm like, no, I said it wrong because it was right. In Mount Moon, I fight some additional trainers. I'm saying it. In Mount Moon, I fight an auditional trainer, and then I pick up the TM for Mega Punch. It's going to be a better option than Pound when I have to face other... Can't say this line. I just realized I'm like hunched over because my headphones don't quite reach the microphone. Then I'm like, why do I have my headphones on? Like, I can just take my headphones off. I don't need to like hear anything while I'm recording. So silly. Now Drowzee levels up to level 37. 37. I just like slowed down there. My brain's just like, My next Body Slam finishes it off, and now it's Arcanine. Arcanine time? What am I saying? Arcanine? Arcanine. It's Arcanine. Wait, Arcanine? Yeah, it's Arcanine. It's so clunky to say, I'm not saying that. Arcanine. That's what I'm saying. Sabrina uses X-Defend, Hypnosis misses. Abra fails Flash. Hypnosis misses again. Abra flails Flash. Wow. The issues making this fight slightly inconsistent are that Sloyster... Psychic right away to knock the Dugtrio out, trying to prevent it to use Sand Attack, prevent it to use... What is that? Was that the right... No. Psychic right away on the Dugtrio, and that prevents it from using Sand Attack. Again, I set up on the Persian, and then I sweep the Nidos with... I said it again. Nidos. Nidos. I don't know. Anything.